Welcome! You are watching the first ever video installment of Pizza with the Pastor. I'm JD, and we have a very special first guest. Andy is here, and let's just go ahead and open up our pizza box.
Nice.
We have a nice, let me just describe this pizza just for a second. We have a very nice cracker thin crust from Leaning Tower of Pizza. It's called the Leaner, and I believe it's just an assortment of meats. So Andy, feel free to take a napkin or whatever you want. All right, so Andy, go ahead and introduce yourself for anyone who doesn't know you, your family, stuff like that.
Sure. So I'm Andy Korb. I'm the new worship pastor here. I've been on staff for roughly 2 weeks, maybe a little more. And I have a wife. Her name's Alyssa. And we have 3 kids. Landon is 5. Harper is 3. And Oliver is 7 months, almost 8 months old now. So yeah, we've only been in Iowa for about 2 years, originally from Philadelphia. Grew up in Philly, go Eagles, go Sixers, and all that stuff. So yeah, Iowa's new to us, and we love it here.
Yeah, I love it here
home
too.
Now.
Iowa is home. I grew up here ever since, I think we moved here when I was 11, and Iowa's nice. All right, so just got a couple questions for you. First one, how long have you been a pastor?
Technically, about 2 weeks.
Here?
Yeah, so my previous title has always been worship director or worship leader or something to that extent. So how long have I served in churches? For about 15 years.
Okay. Why are you so passionate about worship and leading others in worship, especially in a corporate church setting?
That's a really good question. So there's a number of things that cause me to be passionate about worship. First of all, I think God has made each one of us uniquely for a specific task. And for some reason, he's made me musical. And so I've always been passionate about music. And for whatever reason, like I've done the different talent show things and stuff. One year I tried out for American Idol and went out to Hollywood. And,
really?
And yeah, it was cool. I've done those different types of things, and almost consistently the criticism of me from people in the industry or whatever that means has been, this isn't really believable when you sing this type of song. And I'm like, yeah, that's because I don't connect to anything other than music that explains my relationship and my worldview.
Wow.
And my relationship with God. And so it's always been very easy for me to most connect to God through music that is about Him or to Him. And I love people having breakthroughs because of worship, where they now experience God in a different way, or they've learned something about themselves or something about God in a different way because of an experience in a worship, especially in the area of music, in worship setting. Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so cool. A little bit of a different question. What's the biggest goof or mess up you've ever done on stage?
I got one. Okay, so no lie. Kids, I do not recommend you watch this show, but I had friends of mine, acquaintances of mine, that weren't churchgoers, that thought that since I really loved to sing in church, that I was kind of weird. And they got a hold of a video of a live stream of me singing one time, and the lyrics in it, it was something to the extent of, my heart can't fight this sinfulness, yet you love me without end, or something. Talking about our relationship with God, how we are so far from Him, and yet He still loves us. And I got choked up and started crying. And my friends got a hold of this video and sent it into Tosh.0. They were like, we're going to get you a web redemption, man. It was on Tosh.0's website.
Are you serious?
On the homepage. This guy in church, this total loser in a
choking
suit,
up,
crying and voice cracking while I said they sent it in.
That's hilarious. All right, another question. What was your favorite video game growing up and why?
Oh, it's probably a toss-up. Street Fighter 2, and then the other game was NBA Hang Time.
Oh, wow.
So, I think it was called NBA Jam for Super Nintendo.
So what's your favorite, here's another one. What's your favorite sport and why?
Right now, my favorite game to play is probably disc golf.
Okay.
I play a lot of disc golf. I've stopped playing a lot of basketball and softball. I grew up just playing those all the time, baseball, but softball the last few years. So yeah, probably cornhole and disc golf. Oh, it's really good.
Next thing, we're going to play a game. This will be the last thing we do. And this game is called Explain That Pick. And so I kind of went deep into your online presence, Facebook and Google Images and stuff like that. and I found some pictures
Explain
that
that
I think need some explaining. And so I'll just show probably the first one. This is probably the most, this is like the most, the picture that needs the most explaining.
Oh,
I'll just point this right here. Explain that pic.
Oh my word! So
Let's make sure our audience gets a good
That's
gets a good
bad.
snapshot.
That's
Let
bad.
me just explain this real quick. We have the neck choker and the classic pink American Eagle polo that we all
Yeah.
remember from our time in
Yes,
youth.
yeah.
So explain that pic.
Okay, so during this time, this was summer
I'll keep it up,
while I
actually.
was in college. So obviously, I totally thought wearing a necklace was stylish and cool. And yes, everyone did wear pink
Yes.
American Eagle stuff. If
Yep.
you were secure in your masculinity,
Yep.
you wore pink. Now, like I think I have a pink shirt, and I don't know that I wear it that often.
Mm-hmm.
But during school, we were not allowed to have facial hair.
Okay.
It was against the
I went to a
rules at
same
the
college
school
like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we couldn't have facial hair. So during the summer, I was like, I'm gonna grow out my facial hair, and then I'll be so cool. And it turns out I totally was not. The glasses, literally, that was the first pair of glasses I ever owned, and so I had
The first
just
pair.
started wearing glasses like maybe a few months prior to this picture. I took that picture solely to impress a girl that I was interested in.
Is this like a professional headshot? Like, is this what this is? Or like
I have a feeling, honestly, like one of my sisters.
You're
took that
looking
picture.
distantly
I
off
think
into
I
the-
was like, I need you to take my picture.
you look very
so-
contemplative,
so,
like you're.
so that girls would like me.
Like you're thinking of,
And
like-
it didn't work. No, actually, the girl was still kind of interested in me at the time, but told me I needed to shave and stop wearing a necklace. So
You need to shave, stop wearing a necklace, then come and talk to
me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's you explain that
That's
pic.
pretty bad.
All right. The last one. And this is not so much of explain this pic. We're just going to talk about. We found a lookalike, and I'm sure you get this all the time. And if
All the
you
time.
don't get this all the time, I'll be
Is it Kevin James?
shocked. No, it's Charles Spurgeon.
I didn't even know what Charles Spurgeon looked like, but I'm pretty stoked to know that I kind of look like Charles Spurgeon.
We'll let our audience decide.
Holy
I
cow.
think he looks. Exactly like Charles Spurgeon. Like you could be his great grandson. Like it looks
I
that.
fully accept that. I'm a wannabe theologian, so I like the comparison. I would take it. I've never seen what Charles Spurgeon looks like.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
Well, Andy, thank you for joining us, man. We had such a great time. We have some leftover pizza we can eat after we stop rolling, but thanks for coming.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me.